More spoilers, they never stop. Realmbreaker, the invasion tree, is 3 mana for a legendary artifact. You can pay 2 mana and tap it. Target opponent mills 3 cards. Put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It gains. If this land would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Oh, that's savage. You can also pay 10 mana, tap and sacrifice Realmbreaker to search your library for any number of praetor cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This is an immersion win as far as I'm concerned, my goodness. Realmbreaker does exactly what it should, given what its purpose is in the story. One thing I feel compelled to tell you about for absolutely no reason at all, and you definitely shouldn't try to make a 5-color deck using praetors, but the praetors we've been talking about recently aren't the only praetors out there. Say hello to Ebon Praetor and Sanguine Praetor, both errata to be praetors. I'm just saying, if you need praetors, I got your praetors right here, come and get them. Also, Realmbreaker is a hilarious land recursion hate card in Commander, real big LOL there. Invasion of Fiora is a new battle card, 4 of anything and 2 black for a siege battle with 4 counters. When Invasion of Fiora enters the battlefield, choose one or both. Destroy all legendary creatures or destroy all non-legendary creatures. Already starting out pretty spicy real quick. For those who don't know, battle is a new card type. This type of battle called a siege, you choose an opponent to protect it. They don't have to. Anyone can attack the battle to try and defeat it. When you defeat it, you exile it, then cast it transformed. In this case, you transform it into Marchesa, Resolute Monarch, a 3/6 legendary creature human noble with menace and death touch. Whenever Marchesa attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent at the beginning of your upkeep. If you haven't been dealt combat damage since your last turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Yo, Prison Marchesa, let's go! Build up the walls to stop your opponents from attacking you, then reap the benefits. Ironically, Elishnorn would work well with Marchesa. Funny how that goes sometimes. So anyways, Marchesa is almost impossible to block in combat. 6 toughness, menace, and death touch. If she's going to die, it'll be from a kill spell or a board wipe 99% of the time. But what's really awesome about her, she wipes battles out. She takes battles out as long as she can get an attack trigger. Got other battles on the battlefield? Not so much anymore. Marchesa can go anywhere and defeat anyone, apparently. Phyrexians should have really left Fiora alone. She is one mad monarch. Atali, Primal Conqueror, is 5 of anything and 2 red for a 7/7 legendary creature Elder Dinosaur with Trample. When Atali enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. Okay, that is an absurd ability for a red dinosaur entering the battlefield, even more absurd than the previous Atali's ability because it forces each player to exile cards until they get to a non-land card, so no bricking, it's so good. Atali is a house already, and it's only the front face? Oh no. You can also pay 9 of anything and 1 green Phyrexian mana and transform Atali, activate only as a sorcery. Atali Primal Sickness is a red-green 11/11 legendary creature Phyrexian Elder Dinosaur with Trample and Indestructible. Whenever Atali Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters? I'm sorry, what? They get that many poison counters from an 11/11 with Trample and Indestructible. You know what this means, right? This means that Atali Primal Conqueror is your new red-green Infect commander. Congratulations. Ramp a ton until you get Atali, drop it on the field, cast giant spells, flip it over, run someone over, and infect the entire board 1 player at a time. Or you can just put this into any red-green deck and win the game out of nowhere with Infect. Atali, you look so screwed up, but like you're so strong, it's absurd. Invasion of Ikoria is X and double green for a siege battle with 6 counters. When it enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Already pretty amazing, getting to tutor your library or graveyard for the exact non-human creature you want as long as you have the mana to pay for it. That's pretty strong. You know, you can tutor for a creature like Vampire Hexmage that just removes all the counters immediately, right? Let's see what you can get for 4 mana then. Since you just need to pay the double green, then the 2 mana for the Hexmage. Alright, so 4 mana gives you Zalortha, Apex of Ikoria, oh dear. An 8/8 legendary creature dinosaur with reach. For each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Flavor text. Phyrexia's largest Goliath stormed Ikoria, ready to challenge the world's great monsters. Zalortha was unimpressed. Geez, I mean, just bring a little glistening oil, get it under a nail, I'm sure it'll be fine. Now this card is obviously stupid powerful, and in any creature-based deck will basically make the game end, but the goal is getting to the 8/8 as fast as possible. Make this deck with Hexmage in it. Is it modern playable? Might be worth a shot for funsies. Ikoria didn't have a problem with Phyrexians at all, I guess. Let's move on. Polukranos Reborn is 3 green mana for a 4/5 legendary creature Hydra with reach. Wait a second, 3 mana for a 4/5 with a combat relevant keyword? Holy power creep, Batman, here we go again. It's like Leatherback Baloth 2.0. You can pay 6 of anything in 1 white Phyrexian mana and transform Polukranos only as a sorcery. Polukranos, Engine of Ruin, amazing name, is a 6/6 legendary creature Phyrexian Hydra with reach and lifelink. Whenever Polukranos or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra token with reach and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra token with lifelink. Oh my goodness, it's a Phyrexian Hydra Wormcoil engine? I did not expect this from Phyrexianized Polukranos, hot dang! So, not mincing words here at all, Polukranos slaps hard. This is an aggressive beatdown card that will see constructed play in either Standard or Pioneer, it just has to. It has too many upsides not to, and you don't even need to run white to turn the thing over and get a reach and lifelink Wormcoil engine. I mean, I'm not even sure what to say here. Sure, it isn't Shieldred the Apocalypse powerful, but what is? Nothing would be the answer to that question, but I digress. This Polukranos is pushed for competitive play, it has to be, and mono green in some form or another will play this card. Outside of direct removal, terrifying turn 3 or even turn 2 drop. Also, and I really hate to say this, Phyrexian Polukranos looks, pretty awesome, right? Looking strong over there. Borborygmos and Fblthp. Oh man, how am I going to get through this card? Between them, they can see as much as anyone. Right, okay, 2 of anything, 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red for a 6/5 legendary creature Cyclops Homunculus. Whenever BB and Fblthp enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card, then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard 1 or more cards this way, BB and Fblthp deals twice that much damage to target creature. You can also pay 1 of anything in 1 blue and put BB and Fblthp into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Land Sacrifice and Recursion and Teamer with some self-tucking. Let's go. I am into this. Hilarious pair up. It's just perfect. Now, I do have a single gripe. The land discard damage ability, it only targets a creature. It feels like Borborygmos would be angry enough to target anything. No, like Cyclops' dad is mad. You can tell. Angry enough to pair up with Where's Waldo over there. Besides that, brilliant. I guess you could play Stuffy Doll to try and dirtle around and whack the doll, eventually doming someone. It does make me chuckle thinking of BB trying to play with a Stuffy Doll but then getting mad and trying to beat it to death only to accidentally demolish a player completely. Okay, yeah, that's fun. I'm up for that. Glissa, Herald of Predation, such a good name, is 3 of anything, 1 black and 1 green for a 3/5 legendary creature Phyrexian zombie elf. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Incubate 2 twice, or you can transform all incubator tokens you control, or Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn. Now this is a Phyrexian tribe powerhouse right here. Talking viability, I'm very intrigued by her trigger going off at the beginning of combat. That's a good time to get this trigger. And while 5 mana is a lot, like a severely large amount, as of 1 of near the top of the curve, it might not be out of the question in Constructed. There is one thing we can all agree on though, in Limited, once again, Glissa is a beast through and through. Without removal, basically wins you the game outright. How do you even fight this? It's totally bananas. Invasion of New Phyrexia is X 1 white and 1 blue for a 6 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, create X 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. Woo, more knight support, I'm all about it. Dropping tons of knights on the battlefield, it works for me. Now, when this battle is defeated, it turns into, oh wow, Teferi Kosa of Zalfir. They use his actual name, this must be serious. A legendary planeswalker with 4 loyalty. You can +1 and draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. You can also -2 and you get an emblem with knights you control, get +1/+0 and have ward 1. You can also -3 and tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. Teferi cares about creatures now? When did this happen? Okay, this is legit the biggest surprise in the entire set. Knight-centric, creature-focused Teferi. Someone hold me, what is going on right now? I love this card to death. Knight Teferi is amazing. I have to build this stupid Knights deck now because how can I not? Teferi is pro Knights, which means I am too. What an excellent Knight card. That -2 emblem right off the bat, totally ridiculous. What protection and aggression for Knights. I can't say enough about it. Perfect card, perfect battle leading into turning into Teferi. Just flawless design from top to bottom. I am so pleased. Quintorius Loremaster is 3 of anything, 1 red and 1 white for a 3/5 legendary creature elephant cleric with vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature non-land card from your graveyard. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. You can also pay 1 of anything, 1 red, 1 white, tap it and sacrifice a spirit and choose target card exiled with Quintorius. You may cast that card this turn without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Now this is a Boros commander I can get behind. Wizards is knocking it out of the park park with Commander design this time around. Quinn has an epic engine inside itself. I'm thinking Faithless Looting style madness nonsense, or just any way to discard giant cards, exile them with the trigger, get a spirit, ditch the spirit, cast a giant spell, get it back in your library, do it all over again. It is a bit expensive, so that's going to be something you have to build around, but this is a dynamic and interesting Boros design. Really feels like you could go in a million different directions with this. I am so pleased right now. Then we have a powerful few cards that show the end of everything. Seal from Existence, a fantastic piece of removal in white, and it has Ward itself so good. Shows Ren using Realmbreaker to make contact with Teferi across the plains in Transcendent Message. A quadruple blue and X Convoke draw spell. What? Anyways, Ren finds Teferi by using its absurd power to manipulate Realmbreaker. Casta will enjoy that Convoke card a lot, by the way. Then we have Negate. Oh no, I knew it. I friggin' knew it. Malira. Oh, Malira. No, I just can't right now. I can't go on. I'm gonna cry. Please like and subscribe to help me feel better and cry less. There are more spoilers ahead. Thanks for watching. I am so sad right now.